Mahomes gets the shotgun snap. He gets a left tackle block. He looks in the end zone. A crumbling pocket. He'll run and throw at the same time. Caught on a dive back to the end zone. Touchdown, Watson. The Chiefs are going up against the #1 run defense in the NFL of Philadelphia. McKinnon in motion. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Line drive pass. Over the shoulder catch. 5 near sideline. Touchdown, Kelsey. He got inside the pylon on the near side. And the Chiefs have gone up 13-7 before halftime.
And now comes the tush push.
It's the brotherly shove on 1st and goal at the 1. They shove him across, but a flag has been thrown.
Offside defense lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty's decline. Result of the play is a touchdown.
The quarterback, Jalen Hurts, has his 2nd rushing touchdown tonight, and it's the brotherly shove on the quarterback sneak with people pushing his behind right into the end zone. Chiefs 2nd down and 10. 4-man rush, shotgun snap, back to pass, Mahomes 7. Winds up, long pass, down the middle, he's got him! Over the shoulder, drop! A drop at the 2 by Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Off his gloves, incomplete. 3rd and 10, stunned silence at Arrowhead. Wow! And the Eagles are going to finally beat the Chiefs. The Eagles lead it 21-17. The Chiefs had 2 red zone turnovers. 1 in the end zone on a pick thrown by Mahomes and a Kelsey fumble at the 10.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John and Nate Bukaty with Marco Marquez. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Chiefs lose on Monday Night Football. 21-17 to the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of anger out there. Listening to the post-game show with Josh Briscoe on the way home from covering the game. Monitoring social media, which is a mistake. That's a necessary evil in our business. You know, what do they say? Can't win them all. But much in the same way that opening season loss of the Detroit Lions was so frustrating because you knew you were playing a good team, but you also knew that you did almost everything possible just to hand them the football game. I don't need to remind people what happened that opening Thursday night when Kadarius Toney single-handedly gave the game to Detroit and the Chiefs were without Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. Last night, it wasn't just one guy. It was truly was a team effort giving the game away. You always credit the opponent. The Philadelphia Eagles are 9-1 for a reason. They did not go away or fall apart when they were down 17-7, and it looked like the Chiefs had a chance to put them away a couple of times in the second half. And they made the plays necessary to win the game in the fourth quarter. They're a really good team. A really good team with an excellent chance to return to the Super Bowl. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear this today, but the Chiefs are a really good team in a lot of ways. They're a flawed team, but they're still really good. The defense is terrific. The defense played well enough to win last night. The defense stopped Philadelphia over and over and over and over again until I'm quite sure they just got they wore down. You look, Philadelphia, they have a Super Bowl caliber offense. Philadelphia features one of the best quarterbacks in football. Philadelphia features one of the best wide receiver combos in football. And yes, Devontae Smith had a good night, 6 catches for 99 yards. A.J. Brown arguably has been the best receiver in the NFL this year. He had 1 catch for 8 yards. Jalen Hurts threw for 150 yards. They ran the ball, somewhat effectively, 27 for 114, 4.2 yards per carry. But my God, what else do you want the defense to do? I'm sure I'll get that last stop. Okay, great. They held the Eagles' offense to 238 yards. They held the Eagles' offense to 238 yards. That's good enough to win. If we'd have sat here yesterday and I would have told you the Chiefs are going to hold the Eagles to 238 yards and 21 points, we all would have said, winner. Chiefs are going to win that game. And I'll be honest with you, I thought the Eagles would gain more yards, but honestly, that's not too far off from what I expected. I predicted 27-24. And I told whoever would listen when people were asking me what I thought would happen in the game, I said it's a field goal either way. I was off by a point. These teams are evenly matched. Check the Super Bowl. The Chiefs won by a field goal. I still think these are the two best teams in football. Doesn't matter if they play in Philly, if they play in Kansas City, if they play at a neutral site again in the Super Bowl. It's a field goal or a touchdown. It's one score either way, I think. 8 or 9 times out of 10 when they play. There's just not that much separation between these two teams. And somehow, some way that's offensive to some Chiefs fans. Well, get over it. The Eagles are a Super Bowl contender. The Eagles very well could have won that Super Bowl against the Chiefs. They going back to that game, Jalen Hurts dropped the ball in the face of Nick Bolton, and Nick Bolton returned it for a touchdown. That doesn't happen. Maybe the Eagles win that game. Last night, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes threw a terrible interception in the end zone. Travis Kelce fumbled the ball inside the 10-yard line. Marquez Valdez-Scantling dropped a touchdown pass. 1, 2, 3. An interception in the end zone, a fumble inside the 10, and a drop touchdown pass. And then to add insult to injury, Justin Watson, who apparently one of the adjustments in the bye week was to make a decision that this offense runs through Justin Watson. We're going to target the hell out of him. He gets open. Will he catch it or will he not? I don't know. Roll the dice. He makes some nice plays. He also allows the ball to ricochet off his hands at times. And on that 4th and 25 play, it hit him in the hands. Would have been a tough catch, sure, but it hit him in the hands. I thought for a minute I went to the 4th and 17 game on Saturday. I very well could have attended the 4th and 25 game. And I'm not saying this to be a smart ass or whatever else. The difference is, and I get it, one's college, one's the NFL, but I'm making a point here. The difference is Missouri has receivers who, with the game on the line in important moments, they catch the football. Let me go ahead and tell you, if that would have been Justin Watson out there, or one of the Chiefs receivers maybe on Saturday in Columbia, that ball would have ricocheted off their hands like a brick wall and fallen harmlessly to the grass. But instead, I'm watching Luther Burden and Theo Weiss and Mookie Cooper with the game on the line in must-have situations, make catches, make tough catches, come through, get open. And with the game on the line for the Chiefs, you're begging anybody, anyone, step up, catch the ball. I'm not going to say get open because they got open. In the NFL, that was wide open. And Mahomes refusing to throw him under the bus says, well, I probably could have thrown that ball better. I probably could have thrown that, And I'm like, no, not really. No. I mean, sure, it could have been perfect, but nothing's really perfect, but it was pretty damn good. It hit him in both of his hands. And there was no contact or defensive play from the defensive back that prevented him from catching the football. His hands prevented him from catching the football. Travis Kelce had a back-breaking fumble. And he had a drop. I mean, just drops. You know the song? Shot. Drops. Everybody drops. And Mahomes isn't immune to criticism. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the miscommunication was. I don't know if he was expecting a different coverage or if he didn't see the defender, but an interception. Terrible throw. He's not. If it wasn't his fault, he's not going to throw anyone under the bus. But that's on him. But it's so difficult. It's so freaking difficult to try to figure out. And watching the game last night, where we do up in the press box, you get it's like watching the All-22. You get a terrific view of what's happening, and you see things that you don't see on TV. So many times they were just so off on some of the deep throws. They weren't even close, and it's so hard to figure out at this point. Was that, and I'm sitting next to Lebo. I'm sitting next to another employee here at Union Broadcasting, Paige Winters. She's there. We're sitting there as a collective. So was that a bad throw? Was that a bad route? Was that miscommunication? Was that like what? So who do we blame that on? And they're so off, and some of those throws just weren't even close. And you're looking around, and you're thinking that's supposed to happen up at training camp or in the preseason or in the first couple of weeks of the season, and they're so off. Like you don't know. Is it just like? Is Mahomes just like throwing it up there, just trying to make something happen? Is the receiver not where he expects them to be? Did they run the wrong route? I mean, and you're left with, you don't know. And no one's going to throw anyone under the bus after the game because that's the way the culture is and that's the way the locker room is. That's the way it's supposed to be. But they're not going to tell us. Mahomes ain't going to get, Watson ran the wrong route. It's his fault. You're not going to hear that. You're going to hear when MVS has a drop that everyone in the world saw. I probably could have made a better throw. Like, bro, no, you're good. It was fine, Pat. Trick. And so they wasted a terrific effort from the defense. be honest with you, again, I felt like they got away from a successful running game. I felt like there was more food on the plate there that they didn't finish. I don't know what to tell you. It's the hope was the bye week allowed them to self-scout, self-evaluate, make adjustments, reset, and they'd come out and play clean football. Nothing spectacular. Clean football, because guess what? A clean football game from the offense last night wins it. Not throwing an interception in the end zone and kicking a field goal, let's say. I'm not even going to say how they would have scored a touchdown. They get 3 there. Travis Kelce not fumbling the football inside the 10-yard line. That's another sure 3. Butker hasn't missed a field goal this year, by the way. So, yes, count that as at least 3. And then you drop a touchdown pass. That's 13 points. That's 13 points that they just pissed away. How else do you want to describe it? And yes, I understand the Eagles' defensive back punched the ball out of Kelce's hands. Kelce just didn't drop it. Marvelous play by the Eagles defense. The interception was just thrown right to the defender. Hey, fine, he caught it. How many times do we see it? You know all about that. Just because the guy has I'm sorry, but just because there's an interception, a possible interception in someone's hands doesn't mean they're going to catch it. Yeah. He caught it, so you give him credit for that. But it wasn't the toughest pick of his life. I'm going to guess.
No,
just floated up there. The MBS drop, the Eagles get no credit for that. They did nothing to cause that. You know what they did to cause that? Their defensive back got burned alive with a game on the line. Didn't he?
Yeah.
Just got lit up. By how many yards? Free and clear.
Yeah.
So the Eagles don't get credit for that. Give them credit for the Kelce fumble. I'll give them half credit for the interception. 0 credit for the drop. And there were other drops too. And there were other bad throws from Mahomes. There were just, but I'm, again, at the end of the day, the Chiefs get a stop and give the ball back to the offense with a chance to win it, and Mahomes throws a beautiful pass, throws a dime to MVS to take the lead. I'm not going to say win the game because there was well over a minute left, and who knows? Philadelphia, the Chiefs' defense played great, but could Philadelphia have driven back and tied the score or won the game? Sure. So I'm not going to say that would have been a game-winning touchdown, but it would have put the Chiefs up with a little more than a minute left. About what was it, about minute 20, whatever? It's all running together for me now. So I'm not going to sit here and say, that would have won the game. It would have given them the lead late, and it would have given them an excellent chance to win the game. So, to sit here and you see people that come out of the woodwork, you can't wait to, this is why Mahomes is overrated, blah, 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 whatever. Huh. What else do you want him to do on that last drive? He put the ball on MVS's hands to score a touchdown. He put the ball on 4th and 25. He put the ball on Justin Watson's hands to pick up the first down that extends the game. What else? What would you rather him do? Throw to someone else? But he could only throw to the guy that's open. And I don't know who do you trust? I will say this: it just feels like and this is oversimplifying things, it feels like sometimes Rashee Rice makes a really good play, and then you don't hear from him again for an hour. Like, oh, he just juked that guy out of his shorts. Come here, Rashee. Let's target you in an hour. Until then, here's the Chiefs offense starring Justin Watson. Justin Watson had 47 targets last night.
That's a lot.
It feels like. That's an exaggeration. It feels like. It feels like every pass. And I wasn't looking at the numbers when I said this. And I looked at Lebo. I said, it feels like every pass is to Justin Watson. So, like in one way you look at it, hey, he's getting open. But the other way you look at it, I don't know if he's going to catch it. And that's not a great feeling to have about any wide receiver. And then you look at the box score. 11 targets, 5 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. So he caught 5 out of 11. That's, hey, if you're a DH for the Royals and you go 5 out of 11, ooh, yeah.
What a run.
That's
yeah.
a hell of a
Red
series. Well, that guy knocked the cover off the ball against the White Sox this weekend. Catch 5 of 11 targets. You're like, that's too many targets. Rashee Rice, 5 targets. Kadarius Toney, 2 targets. Sky Moore, 2 targets. McCole Hardman, 2 targets. So Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, McCole Hardman, Rashee Rice had 11 targets together. And then Justin Watson had 11 targets. That seems off to me. I just feel like I'm to the point now, just do whatever it is necessary to get the ball in Rashee Rice's hands. And maybe he's going to drop 1 or 2 here or there, but guess what? He's also going to get the football and make something happen after the catch. And I know I just mentioned how Kadarius Toney single-handedly lost the game against Detroit, but he looked good last night. Really good as a punt returner. And it was interesting. They handed him the ball basically as a running back last night a couple of times. And so I would vote for more touches for him too. Take half of those touches and give them from Justin Watson and give them to Rice and give them to Toney. Sky Moore, I don't know what to tell you about him. I don't know what to tell you. He gets good cardio in there, running around and blocking and everything else. I keep being told by analytics guys, no, he's having a really good year. They got to find him. Like I don't. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna advocate for more touches for him. I don't know what I'm advocating for Sky Moore. It's bizarre. He runs around. He's just never targeted. Whether he's not open or he is open or whatever. He's just not – it's not there. A couple of times on third down, there was one third down where Pacheco was just wide open for a first down, and Mahomes forced the ball downfield. And that's on Mahomes. Get the first down. Your receivers aren't catching the football. Hello, Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco out of the backfield. Keep it simple. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm baffled by this. It's baffling. These mind-numbing mistakes that I just can't wrap my head around, especially out of a bye week. Interception in the end zone. Fumble inside the 10-yard line. Drop touchdown pass. I mean, and I still think the Chiefs, and this, people call me crazy for this too, I still think they're the best team in the AFC. And if you're asking me to put money on a team from the AFC to go to the Super Bowl, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Now, my confidence is rattled because I can also see the scenario where we're talking about this again in the playoffs, where Mahomes balls out, the defense balls out, but, drop, 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 right? Because we're, that's week 11. And as the late, great Dennis Green once said, they are who we think they are, I guess, now. That we thought this team had issues on offense, and the receivers had issues making plays, being consistent, catching the ball, holding on to the ball, and that happened again last night after the bye week. So I my hope for a rapid improvement, my hope for the receivers taking a step forward, that has absolutely been shaken. That I'm nowhere near as confident as I was before. And now I feel like it just, Mahomes and the running game and hopefully Kelsey, they're going to have to overcome a gigantic miscalculation by Brett Veach in building this wide receiver room. Brett Veach has been right about a lot of things. And as we sit here after that game last night, the only conclusion you can come to is he was wrong about the wide receivers that he put together and Andy put together that they thought were going to be good enough for this team. As of right now, they were wrong. Eagles beat the Chiefs 21-17. I was in the locker room, got some locker room sound. Travis Kelce, mad as I have ever seen him, but he did talk. Absolutely no sight, nowhere in sight. MVS, couldn't find him, and he wasn't the only one. There were some, there were some receivers looked like they were late catching the train. Not just receivers, but just players, like out of there. But there were plenty of people that talked to the media, and we'll hear from them, and we'll hear Andy was at the podium. Lebo was in there with Mahomes was at the podium. I made it back in there after the locker room for Trent McDuffie. I asked Chris Jones a question. He was up at the podium. So we got plenty of post-game for you to listen to after the Eagles beat the Chiefs on Monday Night Football 21-17. Back after this on WHB. Now, this is going to surprise a lot of people. But I'll be out and about today for another Sports Radio 810 WHB remote from 11 until 1. And let me tell you something. It's one of my favorite places in Kansas City. This is, I'm very lucky to have some very nice suits when I host charity events and charity functions. I love emceeing charity events that benefit wonderful causes. And sometimes people are nice enough to say, hey, where'd you get that suit? Where'd you get that sports coat? And my answer is Houndstooth. Gary Dieter also shops there. That doesn't stop me, though. I'm going to tell you what, they have, their location, their original location down in the River Market area. But they have a new location, Marco. Hold on here. And I'm going to be there today here in Leawood. I'll be there from 11 until 1. Houndstooth is celebrating the holidays with their grand opening sale. Selected suits just $399 that are regularly $700 to $800. Selected sport coats just $299 that are normally $500 to $600. That's nearly 50% off. The sale is going to run through December 31st. Black Friday included. Also, Houndstooth is doing a coat drive. If you bring a coat in for their coat drive, they will give you $100 off any regularly priced suit or sports coat. Bring in your old coat and receive $100 off a regularly priced suit or sport coat. Houndstooth in Leawood, northwest corner of 119th and Row. The Leawood location of Houndstooth. Beautiful suits. Best suits in town. Jeffrey's the man. And that's where I get my suits and my sport coats. And if you would like to stop by and say hello, I'm sure we'll be giving some stuff away. We'll be accepting coats for the coat drive. And you can get nearly 50% off selected suits and selected sport coats. Only way you can find out is stop by and see me at Houndstooth today in Leawood from 11 until 1 o'clock. So, Marco, you're looking for a suit or a sport coat. Now's the time. Today's the day. I think I convinced Mr. Todd Lebo, who's lost so much weight, to come in there and check things out. Get him fitted for a suit, so he could strut around town. It'd be fantastic. All right, let's listen. So locker room sound. A not very happy Chiefs locker room, as you can imagine. And boy, there was a lot of yelling going on the Chiefs sideline, wasn't there? Did you see how pissed off Andy Reid got at Travis Kelce at one point? Looked like, reminded me of the way my dad would look at me, and it looked like he was cursing. Oh boy, Andy Reid is dad mad at Travis Kelce. Kelce was yelling, Mahomes was yelling, Andy Reid was yelling, MVS smashed his helmet up against the wall walking up the tunnel after the game. You know, I wish he would have smashed the football between his hands and held on to it. That would have been wonderful, but that didn't happen. Here's a very brief gathering around Travis Kelce, who did speak. He was a angry man of few words. Many, and I was right. I was positioned right in front of him, and I had a question or two to ask him, and before you knew it, like, that it? All right, he was out of there. You see, it's less than a minute, right?
Yeah.
What did the timeout is?
51 seconds.
I'm in there. I do the interviews. I immediately email them to Josh and Dylan and you and Paige and Lebo, and so I'm not paying attention to how long it is. I'm just turning and burning them. And so I knew it was under a minute of it.
Was this in the locker room, or did you guys catch him?
No, it's in the locker room.
Okay. Was he dressed already?
Yes.
Okay.
The only two places, so for people, if you want to know how things work, you're always going to have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes at the podium. So you can't talk to Mahomes in the locker room. He goes to the podium because he's always going to be high demand. Then they will select 2 or 3 or 4 players that will go to the podium to answer questions. And so they're off limits as well. And so last night it was Reid, Mahomes, Trent McDuffie, and Chris Jones. And so then the rest of the media are in the locker room. You can't ask any questions of Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, Mahomes, because they're going to the podium to answer questions. And so we tried to split up with Lebo in the interview room where the podium is at the press conferences, and then I'll be in the locker room trying to get some sound, trying to get some comments from other players who are getting dressed at their lockers, and they can either say yes, they can decline, they can, as some players did, get dressed very hurriedly and get out of the locker room before they allow the media in because there's a cooling off period. So we stand in line outside the locker room after the game, and we wait 10, 15 minutes or so. And during that time, players are getting ready, getting showered, and getting dressed. And some of them, if they're quick enough, can get the hell out of there before we get in there. Can't control that. I didn't see MVS anywhere. I would have gone straight to him, but I didn't. And maybe he talked to somebody. I did not see him.
Couldn't get your hands on him, huh?
Stop. I didn't see him. But here, Travis Kelce, after he showered and dressed, did stop for a moment. And as you hear, he was, you knew he was pissed off right off the bat because he told, to back up because all the media just kind of just crowded around him. And the players next to him getting dressed were somewhat overwhelmed. And so you hear Travis commenting on that, and then a very short and sweet media gathering with Travis Kelce here.
You give my guys some space. My fumble.
How would you diagnose just what's going on with the offense otherwise?
I got to be better. Just not playing up to the level that I have in the past. I got to be better.
Any adjustments the Eagles did in the second half to sort of disrupt things?
No. Turnovers and penalties on our half. But it's nothing that they did.
Travis,
It's all us.
3 games, no points in the second half. Are you identifying anything why it's happening in the second
I
half?
just mentioned the turnovers in the second half. I just mentioned the flags. It's all fixable. We just got to do it.
Travis, does this feel like a particularly emotional game to you when you play them?
Okay, guys?
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
And then you hear, Brad G or someone from the staff of the Chiefs will look. They see a player is not happy or doesn't want to answer questions, and will quickly say, "All right, that it, guys?" We're like, no, it's not. But that's the opening for Travis to walk away. So that was short and sweet.
Must have learned that from USC.
Yeah, well, no, USC doesn't talk. Hey, Kelce at least answered some questions, right? No, that's their job. That's their job, man. Get the player out of there. He answered some questions. And just everything was no. Just wasn't making eye contact. That's as pissed as I've seen him. And good, he should be. I mean, can you blame him? I don't. He knows that.
Nope.
Up until the MVS drop, the one of the biggest reasons why the Chiefs lost that game was his fumble. And he said it. That was it. He was not willing to give credit to the Eagles there. Nothing they did. It's all us. We got to fix it. The Eagles were out there too, but there's a lot of truth to that, man. A fumble inside the 10, an interception in the end zone, and a drop touchdown. I mean, how else you want to? What else can you say about it, right? So that was Travis Kelce. We got more. McCole Hardman spoke for a little bit. Justin Watson spoke. Got a little bit with Trey Smith. Also, Justin Reed always talks. Doesn't matter if he had a bad game, good game. Doesn't matter if they win. Doesn't matter if they lose. Justin Watson always talks and does not gives the media all the time they need, and through the media he speaks to the fans and gives the answers. So that's appreciated. So there it is. We'll have some more for you coming up. Coming up after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Hey, Kansas City. Stephen St. John here for my friends at Midwest Tinting. That's right, Midwest Tinting. They are awesome, and that's where I took my wife's car and also my son Phil's car to get their windows tinted. And they're having a Black Friday sale. And how about this? You can get 20% off gift cards. That is a tremendous deal at Midwest Tinting for their Black Friday sale. 20% off gift cards on Black Friday only, and only if you mention 810. That's 20% off your gift cards on Black Friday only if you mention 810. That is a terrific deal. The holiday season is right around the corner. And that would be a great present for anyone in your life. Do they have a car? Do they have a house? Do they have a business? Well, Midwest Tinting can take care of any of those options, whether they need the windows in their car tinted, in their house, in their business. If price has been the only thing stopping you in the past, now's your chance. Midwest Tinting tints houses, too. Did you know that? And I've been thinking about getting my windows tinted in my house. And I promise you, when I do, and I'm going to do it, Midwest Tinting will be the only ones I call. 913-384-COOL. That's 913-384-COOL. Or go to MidwestTinting.com to learn more. And I remind you, again, Black Friday only. 20% off gift cards at Midwest Tinting if you mention 810. Black Friday, mention 810, 20% off gift cards at Midwest Tinting. 913-384-COOL, COOL, or go to MidwestTinting.com and tell them SSJ sent you. Welcome back to the show. Nate's so angry about the loss last night, he refused to take part in the last segment. You missed Travis Kelce's lengthy press conference.
I did see it last night.
Oh, I saw it. That was right in front of me.
I wouldn't exactly say I missed it.
Let's hear a little snippet of, and I was trying to bounce around and, get as many different players as I could. Let me hear, what do you want to play next, Marco? What do you got at your fingertips there? I sent you all this stuff. Help an old man out. Come on, take my hand and drag me through this, please.
It's always good to hear Justin Reed. He's
Okay.
honest.
Yep, always ready to talk. Doesn't matter win, loss, plays well, doesn't play well. He was available to speak. Here's Chief Safety Justin Reed after the game.
Puts together week in and week out. It's poetry, and we have the guys to go out and execute it. We have faith in each other. We go out, we play hard, and when we play the defense the way that we're coached to play the defense, we end up doing pretty well. So I thought that we did decent for most of the game, but there's 2 or 3 plays in there that we want to have back, and that's how these games go when you're playing against a very good opponent. You got to have those.
Got to have a short memory. You got the Raiders coming up next week. Josh Jacobs along with Devontae Adams. How you all bounce back?
Well, the only way is to get back to work. We're going to learn from this. Win, lose, draw. We go to the tape. We learn from our mistakes. We keep getting better and making this ship get tighter and tighter as we get closer to November and December. And we just got to make sure that we can't let this loss carry over into next week. Start with a fresh slate and go out and play some good football.
What was Andy's message to you all after this game in the locker room?
Self-inflicted plays. We got to stop on the penalties. If we don't hurt ourselves in the course of the game, I don't think there's any team out there that can beat us. So we just got to hone in and play football the way that the Chiefs know how to play football.
Thank you.
With the offense struggling to score points the last 3 games in the second half, does that put more pressure on the defense? You guys feel
this is a team game. There's the offense goes out and plays their game, the defense goes out and plays their games, and we complement each other. Sometimes the defense is going to have some leaky yardage. We're going to rely on the offense to go out and put some points up. Sometimes the offense is going to have to punt, and we're going to rely on the defense to get the ball back to them. That's why football is the greatest team sport ever.
Did they make an adjustment on first, second down and get themselves in a little more advantageous position in the second half, or was it just?
No, they ran their scheme. I don't think they changed a lot, but I think that they were successful in the screen game. The screen game and the jet sweep play was a spark for them, but for the most part, they ran the plays that they run, and they do a good job at running it. So that's why they're successful.
What were you guys able to do to hold A.J. Brown to only 1 catch tonight?
The type of game plan that we put together, Coach Spagnuolo, is poetry, the type of game plan that he puts together week in and week out. We have the guys and the personnel to go out and execute it, and we believe in the defense. We go out and execute it the way we're coached. Good things tend to happen. So guys make some big-time plays, our corners, safeties, and it's just about playing the team defense and making sure that we had awareness where he was and to take him away as a threat.
Thank you, Justin.
Anything over there?
Well, he answered the question correctly that you posed to him about the pressure put on the defense by the lack of production offensively in the second half, but he can't say the truth. And the truth is, it's a massive problem for this team right now, their lack of offensive production in the second half. It's baffling.
They haven't scored in the second half in 3 straight games.
That's mind-blowing.
They're averaging less than 6 points a game in the second half this year for the season.
And I don't know what it means. My initial takeaway of that is Andy Reid and their offensive staff can scheme up some things offensively in the first half, but there's only so many things you can scheme up. At some point, you gotta win some plays, and once they're not able to just scheme guys open, there's not much winning. And when they do win, they don't catch the ball. And I do think, like, I'm very much looking forward to talking to Mark because he's been pretty steadfast so far this year that the Chiefs don't have a major problem at wide receiver. I wonder if I'm going to be interested to hear if his opinion has changed because last night.
I'm going to suggest that they do.
I feel like last night was the if there was any question about whether or not they have a major issue at wide receiver, last night should put that to bed. Now, to me, like last night was the first time. I don't want to overreact. Like you said, this is still a very good football team. You know, they've lost 3 games, and especially the 2 to the really good teams, Detroit and Philadelphia. If guys just catch balls that are delivered into their hands, it's a different outcome. But last night, so I don't want to overreact because I do still think this is a very good football team with flaws, like every team in the NFL does have flaws. But I got myself thinking last night, if these receivers don't get better, it will keep this team from winning a Super Bowl. Like this, what they're getting from their wide receivers right now is not good enough to win a Super Bowl. And so to me, like the only answer for the rest of the season is, will these guys get better? Will they start to catch? And like I saw Tyreek Hill point out, people think that's an easy catch in the lights in that stadium. I thought it was charitable of Tyreek Hill to point out that maybe the catch wasn't as easy as it looks to us for MVS to make. And the Justin Watson catch, like you said, maybe not the easiest catch, but this is the NFL. Wide receivers are supposed to make relatively difficult catches sometimes, right? I mean, Watson made a couple relatively difficult catches in the game. But, like, this is good wide receivers make those catches, right? Like, yeah, it's not easy, but this is the NFL, man. Like, you got to, like, the good wide receivers make those catches. How many times have the Chiefs wide receivers had an opportunity to make a tough catch to help this team out? And how many times have they actually made the catch? Not nearly enough. I mean, it is what it is. It's a major problem for this team. And if it doesn't get better, it's hard for me to see them winning a Super Bowl with this kind of production from their wide receivers.
And look, I get it. The smart ass reply will be, well, somebody would have dropped the pass anyway. But when Lebo gets here, he can back me up. I didn't tweet it out because at some certain points of the game, I'm not tweeting. I'm watching the actual game.
Right.
4th and 4 at the Philadelphia 39 with 8:56 left, holding on to a 3-point lead. I couldn't hate the decision to punt more than I did and do. Hate. I wouldn't be a big fan of attempting a 56-yard field goal either, but I wouldn't hate that as much. And guess what? On 4th and 4, I'd probably bet on Mahomes' legs for picking up the first down or something. But Lebo said, oh, no, you'll put your best unit back on the field. We disagreed. I said, dude, there is no way they should punt this ball. I said, first of all, it's going to go in the end zone. And I'll be damned to win the end zone. And Philadelphia took it and drove right down the field. You can't, and you could say, yeah, the defense was great up to that point. But you can't keep asking the defense to stop a championship caliber team and a championship caliber offense over and over and over and over again. At some point, if you don't help them out, the dam's going to break. And it broke. And I said, damn. But I just, there's not, no. And if you are good with it, that's fine. You would agree to disagree. But 4th and 4 at the 39 with that much time left, and I felt like it was so predictable what was going to happen. Like the football guys were going to say, no, bro, no, and it just played out just that way. They gained a whopping 19 yards on that punt. And I think it was in 1 or 2 plays that was erased. I mean, no.
Well,
Miss me with it. No.
I think it is an indicator of where Andy Reid's confidence is in this offense right now. And that's a scary thing.
Yeah. But I know some people say, well, it's because he has confidence in his defense. Yeah, and fine. It's because I have confidence in the defense. I'm cool if it doesn't work out, giving the ball, up at the 39. But give me one more chance to pick up that first down. Give me one more chance. That's what I'll take instead of picking up 19 yards on the freaking punt. Take a break back after this on WHB.